All right, everybody, welcome to today's live stream of A Matter of Life and Death, my custom scenario that I've been working on for a very long time and finally am ready to release it. Today, we're going to be playing Father Mateo, so hopefully this goes well. Didn't get a chance to really test this deck, but it's kind of a mutated version of a deck I tried earlier in the week, so hopefully it does work out well. Basically, the theme of the deck is using the ritual candles to help boost on skill tests where it's like bad symbols, and using the Jewel of Aurelius to get us extra resources or extra card draw when that happens. And then we'll be using a lot of mystic events to help us with combat and clue gathering, and Diana Esperance is there to help us out. We're also going to play a little bit with Doom using David Renfield and the very maligned Blood Pact. I found that it does work in a pinch, so we'll see how it works in this case. Overall, the deck is very event heavy, very low amount of skills for what I'm usually used to, but with all those other stat boosts between what is that card, Arcane Studies or Blood Pact, I think we're going to be okay for the most part. As far as the scenario goes, it is based on Iron Maiden lyrics and song titles. It doesn't specifically have to do with any story told in an Iron Maiden song or mythos. It is just inspired by these lyrics, and there's a lot of references to Iron Maiden, the band itself, some past members and current members, and all that kind of thing. So if you know about Iron Maiden, you'll enjoy that aspect of it. But if you don't know about Iron Maiden, then it doesn't matter. The scenario still plays fine on its own, even if you don't get those references at all. It doesn't detract from the enjoyment of the scenario. So before I get started, I do want to mention the Pigman's Apprentice, the Pigman's Chaos Bag community event and contest that the Great Old Ones are running. We just announced it this morning. Basically, we want the community to show us a lot of their artistic capabilities, and the rules are there on your screen. So basically, you pick an investigator, a player card, and an encounter card, and let that inspire you to make some kind of art from it, whether it be music, video, cosplay, drawings, that kind of stuff. So it's a lot of fun. We've already gotten a couple of entries that are fantastic, so I'm excited to see what everyone else comes up with. And if you're interested in participating, you can submit your entries by emailing them to carolinfernthebotanist@gmail.com or going to the FarcomCon Discord server, which just reminded me, this stream is part of FarcomCon, if you don't know what that is yet. It is a convention that's been going on since yesterday. It goes through the weekend. It is a virtual convention where a lot of content creators for Arkham Horror, the card game, are basically putting out some amazing content. So far, the con has been really fun. There's been a panel discussions. There's been challenge scenarios, all sorts of great stuff. And tonight, Nate from Lost in Time and Space is going to be running the Untamed Wilds RPG version. So we're going to be playing Pulp Cthulhu with Nate running as the game master, and we'll be playing Untamed Wilds, the first two, Untamed Wilds and Doom of Vesely, if we survive to that point, and that'll be a lot of fun. So if you want to check that out, that'll be happening a little bit later on today, 1:30, I believe, Pacific time, 4:30 Eastern Standard Time, if I'm not mistaken. Anyways, let's go ahead and read all the stuff. The deck has been set up already so as not to waste time. I do have to draw weaknesses. It is a 29 experience point deck using standalone rules, so I do have to draw 3 weaknesses. So we're going to get those done real quick. Haunted. That's not going to work. And there it is. Is that indebted? Oh no, that's doomed. Yeah. I thought it was indebted again. Internal injury and hypochondria. Okay. Not terribly bad, I guess. So yeah, this scenario is a long time coming. I've been working on it for a while. I stopped working on it for a while because my equipment just was not, it was really annoying to work with. And I do plan on making a series for my channel where I discuss making your own scenario, all the tools that we have available to do that, and how to go about balancing it, and play testing and all that. So look out for that series. I think I'm going to start that next week after FarcomCon. Our deck is ready to roll. We've got our permanents here in play. We've got our action counters, which I always forget to use. We got 5 resources. And we'll go ahead and get started. Oh, also, if you want to play the scenario in like live with real cards, it is available on Arkham Central now, finally. So look for it there. And here we go. A matter of life and death. Something is wrong in Passchendaele. The sentient is sent to seek out all the truth, a flight to earth that is given from his birth, to rise from ashes of the dead, out of the fire sent to fulfill man's desire. The power day and night, and death he ruled them, the sky and earth and the fires too. So, A Matter of Life and Death is a standalone scenario for Arkham Horror the card game for 1 through 4 players, and it's played using standalone rules. You could play it thrown into your campaign by spending 2 experience points to play it. It also has an interlude in the middle, so I've made a note of that there. I wanted to quickly thank the patrons as well as Nate. Oh, did I not switch the screen? I'm sorry, guys. That's probably pretty important. Now you can see the screen. And I'm checking the chat. I don't see chat, and last time I had an issue seeing the chat, so I'm hoping... Oh, there we go. We do have chat going on. Solar J, thank you for being there, and thank you for helping roleplay or playtest the scenario. It was very useful information I got from Solar J and a couple of others that were JP from Northern Lights of Arkham, my friend Cameron, not Cameron from Man from Lang, but another Cameron, who also helped with this scenario. So lots of great help to get this refined and actually table ready. All right, so let's go ahead and read our setup instructions. We don't need to read. When you do play the scenario, there are detailed setup instructions on how to set up the locations in the Chaos Bag. But we'll go ahead and get started with the prologue. Please, you must help me. The man with the fancy mustache introduces himself as Brian McNichols, former mayor of a village in the town named Passchendaele. This is kind of hard to read here for some weird reason. Something is wrong with my son, Paul. He continues, detailing a gradual deterioration of his son's mental stability. Mr. McNichols claims the change started a few months ago when his son started complaining about headaches and randomly losing memories from large portions of his life. As the weeks passed, Paul became withdrawn and obsessed with collecting wood for the crosses. He would speak prophetic phrases, light random fires in the street, and seemed to have altogether forgotten who he was. Mr. McNichols and Paul came to Arkham seeking... I'm sorry, guys. I don't know why the font is so hard to read here. Seeking treatment of the asylum immediately after they left Passchendaele. A violent earthquake devastated the city block. McNichol believes something dark is responsible, specifically since the village has never experienced any tremors. Recently, other townsfolk have reported strange dreams and memory loss as well. Having heard of your unique skills at investigating these sorts of things, Mr. McNichols has offered to fly you to Passchendaele to see that you can look into the happenings at the small village. Now, I have setup instructions for the scenario, and I also put out a video showing you how to set up the scenario if you're playing it with actual physical cards. And I've included a few keywords. I didn't add any new keywords myself to this one, but it does use some keywords from different expansion packs, and if you don't own them, you may not be familiar with them. So one is alert. So basically, if you try and evade an enemy and fail, that enemy attacks you. And seal, which you'll take a token from the Chaos Bag and put it on the card that has the seal keyword, and then there's instructions on what happens once it's sealed there, and that kind of thing. All right, we'll leave that interlude going off right there, and we will read the agenda. So, reflections of my warped mind. As soon as you arrive at the village, your mind begins to wander to visions of your past. It's hard to concentrate, but you manage to shake off the strange feeling. And this agenda has -1 Doom threshold, so it's a Doom of 7. If we were playing multiplayer, then it goes down by 1 additional for each player that's playing. Back in the village, there is more to the mysterious tremors destroying the city than you initially thought, especially since the village is nowhere near a fault line. The villagers seem to be keeping many secrets, but one thing is certain. The events all have something to do with a man named Harris Dickinson. Investigating further may shed some light into the matter. All right. Oh, thanks, Solar J. I just saw your note. I forgot about the mouse wheel thing. I'm still kind of new to TTS. For the setup, in the setup instructions, there are story cards that you have to add to locations that they match with. I've set them up here, so they're in stacks of 4. Let's go ahead and draw those and place them where they belong. So this one belongs here. Put this aside. This one's going to go here. And these story cards you get to reveal based on what the act was saying. You'll reveal them if there are no clues at your location. You'll reveal it, read it out loud. Once you've revealed 5 of them, then you can advance the act. All right, we'll continue here. And you can just match them based on the images of each location. And final. All right, one more. This scenario has 120 something cards altogether between the story cards, and there's an additional deck here called the Babylon deck, which is used at the end. So there's a lot of cards. That's partially why it took me so long to make the scenario. There's not a lot of moving parts, but there are a lot of cards to manage initially. All right, that's been shuffled. We'll draw our opening hands and get things started. And it is prime dog barking time right now, so if you guys hear my dogs bark, I apologize ahead of time. So let's see, we got our ritual candles and our jewel. We also have an ally in play and another ally that we can put into play, and we have 1 card to help manage creatures. Generally, I'd like to have more than that to help fend off enemies, but I think this is a decent starting hand. The actual cost of my opening hand is pretty high, so I need to choose if I want Diana or David in first. I think I like Diana better, even though she's even more expensive. Hopefully the jewel will help us with that. So let's mulligan David. There we go. We got Arcane Studies. That's perfect. This is a really pretty solid opening hand. Unfortunately, it's kind of pricey in terms of resources, but we can deal with that. All right. And I think we've got everything set up already. That's done. That's done. Good. We are ready to begin and reveal the opening location. We start our investigation at the Ruins of Acacia. The destruction is very similar to that of an earthquake. Sadly, many villagers are buried under the rubble, and buildings are completely destroyed. Luckily, the bar known as Charlotte's Hardloot still stands, a reminder of the seedy nature of this part of town. And I forgot to grab clues here. I'm just going to set them here. I know this is a little clunky the way I'm doing this, but... no. Alright, so it has 1 clue, and it's a 2 shroud location. When initiating an investigate action at the Ruins of Acacia, you test 3 agility. If you fail, you take a damage. If you succeed, nothing happens. The ruins are a complete mess. You nearly trip while rummaging through the rubble, but it's clear that there may be some important information buried within this district. So I have to make a decision. Do I want to investigate this and potentially take a damage, or just move on and try to find a story card from another location? I think we'll spend our first round while we make that decision. We'll spend our first round setting cards up because we do have a lot of assets to play. So let's do that. We will we'll want Diana in first so we can have a way to defend ourselves. So we'll spend 4 resources to put Diana Esperance into play. And we'll attach this card to her. That way we have a way to defend ourselves. So now we can actually defend ourselves fairly well, as long as we have the resources for it. That was action 1. Action 2, let's play the ritual candles. And action 3 will put arcane studies into play. That was a very oh, thank you, Brown Loaf. The art was actually done by my brother. Not all of the art, but I would say 90% of the art in the scenario was done by my brother, who probably will be in the chat in a minute. And he did it in very short notice, so there's a lot of like sketch style and just very like trippy style, and I really like the way it came out. So that was very nice of him to do that for me. Those are my 3 actions. Let's go ahead, and there are no enemies, so we draw a card and gain a resource, and we get banished. Okay. And now we add a doom to the agenda. So 1 out of 7 doom, and we'll draw our first encounter card. Like a small child, take 1 horror and add this card to your threat area. You can only take 1 move action. You can only take the move action once per round. At the end of this round, test 2 intellect. If you succeed, discard this card. Your attention drifts into a daydream with images of your innocent childhood bringing a smile to your face. Suddenly you find yourself clumsily walking, 1 foot in front of the other, at times crawling and unable to run. Okay, so we take a horror, and now it's in our threat area. Well, that kind of sucks. And we can't initiate a test. It's just one of those where you have to remove it at the end of or test it at the end of the round to remove it. Okay, so we need to get moving here. So let's move along. So I think I'm not going to risk taking a damage here. And either way, we don't have any cards yet that'll help us investigate, even a Shroud of 2. So we'll move on. We'll go to Yannick Murray's house and see what that says. Loud noises penetrate the street. As you approach this 3-story house, you realize someone seems to be practicing some jazz standards on trumpet from within the house. Ooh, a new strange world. You can use an action to draw 3 cards, group limit once per game. I actually might take advantage of that right now, because I need ways to find clues. You enter the residence, and your mind is immediately assaulted with sensory overload. You feel as if you've entered another place, alien in nature, almost dreamlike. And there's a clue there. All right, so that was action 1 was move. Action number 2. Do we attempt and investigate? It's a Shroud of 3, so I don't think, even if we boost it with Arcane Studies, that's not really going to be very helpful. So let's spend an action using the location's ability to draw 3 cards. We draw 3 cards. Okay. We got another Ritual Candles there. I want to put this jewel out. I still need ways to investigate. This is the Mystic problem, right? All right, let's do that. Let's put up the Ritual Candles. So now we have 2 Ritual Candles in place. And let's attempt and investigate, which is going to be, I have a 3 to a 3. That's a straight up. 3 to a 3 is not good odds, but these candles could help. Because they'll basically negate any of these. Yeah, I think it's worth a shot. Let's do it. 3 to a 3. -5. Okay, that's a failure. So that ends the turn. We are not doing our momentum is very bad right now. Hey, look at that. Read the signs. That's what we need. All right. 2 doom out of 7. Encounter card. Oh wait, we got to test like a small child. 2 intellect. So our intellect is 3. And here we go. It's an auto fail. Look at that. So actually, we'll use Mateo's ability to turn this auto fail into Elder Sign and get us another action. Perfect. So what we'll do is, that's at the end of the round, right? At the end of the round, yeah. So we did get these cards first before this happened. So we'll use our action. Or do we gain the resources? Card and a resource, no. So we have an extra action. Let's do instead of the action, let's do a card and a resource. So we'll gain a resource and draw a card. I usually never do that, but I do need the resources. So this goes away. And now we'll reveal our encounter card for this round. It is a whippoorwill, and yes, they do make an appearance in this scenario. They're quite annoying. So the whippoorwill is there now. So that's not going to be good for us. We're going to need to move out of here. Maybe we'll come here and just take the damage and do it that way. Yeah, I guess we could do that and come that way. There come the dogs. All right, our turn. We need to get away from the whippoorwill. So we could do action 1, go back to the ruins, take a damage, or more than likely take a damage. Grab that clue, and then... Oh, no, we could use this. Read the signs and not take a damage. Why don't we do that? Action number 1, we'll move to the Ruins of Acacia. Action number 2, we'll spend 2 resources to play Read the Signs. Ooh, or I could get Diana. No. Okay, we'll play Read the Signs. So we're going to test 3 plus, so 7 to a 2. 0. Okay, perfect. 7 to a 2, and we get the clue. And now we have our first clue, and let's read the story card. Searching through the rubble, you make several horrific discoveries. The bodies you uncover seem to have died from horrific burns, not by being buried under the rubble. One man had a note in his pocket, a note that seems untouched by the burns. It's handwritten and accuses Paul of plotting to murder the townspeople by burning them alive. There doesn't seem to be any evidence to support the claims of the note, but the note does mention Paul claiming to be a messenger of the Lord of Light, and also claiming that he would help cleanse the town by bathing them in fire. Each investigator tests 3 agility. If we succeed, we gain 2 resources. If we fail, we discard the top card of our deck. Okay, our agility is not that good. Test our agility, 3 to a 3. That's a skull. Actually, we pass because that's a... These give us a +1 a pop when we pull a skull. So we end up being 1 above the test. Great. So we succeed. We gain 2 resources. We really needed those. And the way I balance this scenario, these story cards sometimes will have no effect. Some will have positive effects. Some will have neutral effects, and some will have negative effects. But in the end, if you get too many that are positive, it's going to be a harder ending. If you get too many that are negative, the ending's going to be a little bit easier. All right, so that was our first action. We were very productive that action. Actually, that was our second action, wasn't it? Because we moved. Final action. I do want to play this duel next round, but we can move this round. So we'll move to this location, Adam Smith's Postal Annex. And this one says, the Postal Annex is run by the Smith family. The rest of the village seems to think they're not very sociable. 5 Shroud, 1 clue per investigator. If you have less than 10 cards in your discard pile, this location gets -2 Shroud. So I think we have less than 10 cards. Yeah, we just have 1 card. So it's a Shroud of 3 right now. And then it says, Adam Smith refuses to answer any questions. His 2 children help him sort incoming and outgoing mail and barely make any eye contact with you. If you can think of a compelling topic of conversation, perhaps he will engage and open up to your inquiries. But can you think of something to talk about with him? All right. Shroud of 3. And that's our turn, actually. So no enemies still. We draw a card and gain a resource. And another duel. Okay. 3 doom out of 7. All right, let's do this. Hemorrhage. Limit 1 per investigation. 1 per investigator. Place this card in your threat area. At the beginning of the investigator phase, take 1 physical damage. Ooh. If you succeed, so you gotta use an action to test 2 intellect. If you succeed, remove hemorrhage from your threat area and find a way to stop the bleeding. Any investigator at your location may attempt this test. You begin to bleed uncontrollably, but are unsure of the cause. Okay, so that ends the Mythos phase. Beginning of the Investigator phase. We take a damage right away. Okay. I can play the Jewel, which is really going to up my resource generation and card draw. So I definitely want to do that. I also want to get rid of this. Okay, so let's play the Jewel. And let's test this 2 intellect. All right, so 2 intellect. What do we have here? Calling in favors. We can commit calling in favors and prophesy. Prophesy says, well, there's more than 3 doom in play. It gets an extra. And there is 3 doom in play. Oh, more than 3 doom, it says. Or 3 or more doom. Okay, so this will be 2 wild. And this will give us 1 and then 2 wild. That would put us at a 6 to a 2. I guess I don't need to commit prophesy. We'll just commit calling in favors. Putting us at a 4 to a 2. That's pretty comfortable. Tablet. Reveal another token. We gain a resource because of the Jewel. Gain 2 resources. And then we get a +2 already to this test. But we reveal another token. If you fail, discard the top card of your deck for each point you fail by. 0. So we pass with flying colors, and we gain 2 resources because of this thing. Perfect. This goes away. That was our second action. And now we want to investigate. So we're facing versus a 3. So our final action, that's what we'll do, is just investigate. So we're going to spend 2 resources to boost Arcane Studies by 2, our intellect, putting us at a 5. 5 to a 3. Investigation check. Here we go. Auto fail. Oh, and we already used Mateo's ability. So that doesn't help. Okay. Darn, too bad. Wasted 2 resources. All right. Turn ends. Draw a card. Gain a resource. Yes, Seal of the Elder Sign. Definitely need that. 4 doom out of 7. Here we go. The red and the black. It surges. Place this card in your threat area. The next time you take a skill test, draw 3 chaos tokens instead of 1. You must choose the token with the highest penalty for the test. If 2 different tokens have the same modifier, you may choose which one to resolve. After the test resolves, regardless of the outcome, take 1 damage and discard the red of the... So you're going to take 1 damage anyways. A mysterious copper red stain appears on your clothing. It looks like blood, but you have no injury below your clothing. All right, so we're going to have to draw 3 tokens on the next test. No problem. And it surges, so let's see where we get. Another whippoorwill. Oh, I forgot to move the whippoorwill last round. That is my bad. Chat, I might need your help doing this whippoorwill move thing. Oh, and then this round they move here. And now we get another whippoorwill. So now we have 2 whippoorwills at this location. That sucks. And now we can't really get that clue. Well, yeah, we can. All right. First action. Seal of the Elder Sign. We'll investigate and auto-succeed, which will give us an extra action. And we'll get this clue. So we get to reveal this card. You convince Adam Smith to let you read whatever incoming and outgoing mail pertain to Paul. Based on both incoming and outgoing letters, it was clear that Paul was reaching out to men who were 7th sons born of a 7th son. As you look deeper into this, loud bird songs begin to distract you. It's very hard to keep your concentration with what has now become a large congregation of birds outside the postal annex, chirping and singing a dreary tune. Search the encounter deck and encounter discard pile for 2 copies of Whippoorwills and put them into play. If there's already a copy of Whippoorwills in play, put copies into play until there are 2 copies in play. Oh, there are 2 copies already. Any copy of Whippoorwill spawned by this effect spawns at Adam Smith's full song. Okay, so we don't. It doesn't really do anything because there's already 2 Whippoorwills in play. So we have 2 out of 5 story cards, and that was our first action, which we got an extra action thanks to Seal of the Elder Sign. So really, action number 1 is going to be for us to move. Action number 2. Yeah, let's keep going. No, let's move here first. So we move to Brian McNichol's house. Nobody seems to be home. All right, Purgatory. When an investigator enters this location for the first time, search the encounter discard pile and the encounter deck for a copy of Phantom and spawn it at this location. Engage with that investigator. Shuffle the encounter deck. There's Phantom. Oops. Yeah, I'm a little clunky with this still. Alright, there's Phantom. Hunter, 115. If you use an action to attack Phantom, take 1 damage. A figure from your past emerges, following your every move. Is it real, or is it just a dream? Okay. So he engages us. If we use an action to kill him, he deals a damage to us. It might be worth it, to be honest. So that was action 1. Action 2... let's hit him. All right, so we're going to attack him. We have this thing in place, so it's going to... he'll hit us twice. So let's do the first move, an evade move, because we're more than likely going to fail, because we draw 3 tokens instead of 1. So evade. 1, 2, 3. And... highest penalty is a -4, so we fail the evade test. This gets discarded and we take a damage. Okay, interesting. Final action. Let's try and kill this guy. We're gonna attack. This time we'll commit Prophesy for 2 wild icons, and we're just gonna punch it. We have a 2, so 4 to a 1. Here we go. 0. Okay, so he dies, but we take a damage. We'll give it to Diana. That ends our turn. Not as productive as I thought it was going to be. Draw a card. Oh no, it is haunted. We lose all ties. Okay. 5 out of 7 doom. Things are going to flip soon. Alright. Brings me to Despair. Limit 1 per investigator. Add this card to your threat area. At the end of each phase, if a card was discarded from your hand or from the top of your deck during that phase, test 3 willpower. If you fail, take 2 horror. Holy cow. 3 actions to discard this card. Pretty brutal. I don't want to spend 3 actions right now to discard it. And then I have this thing eating up my actions too. We need to get this clue. It's a 4 shroud. 4 shroud. We can boost our intellect to a 5 with arcane studies. Do we try doing that? It might be worth it. All right. So we boost our intellect to a 5 with arcane studies. Testing versus a 4. Oh wait, we get -1 because of this. So the candles may not be that helpful. Let's not do that. Let's instead... Alright, we'll spend 2 actions to discard Haunted. And then we'll do that. So we got a 5 to a 4. And I'm only 1 up over the test, but because of the candles, I'm pretty confident that this is going to succeed. And we'll commit this jewel. So we're 2 up above. So we'll commit the jewel. Here we go. It's a 6 to a 4. -2. Good enough. So we nab that clue. Paul's journal sheds new light into his pyromania. In it, Paul wrote of his attempts to ignite small crosses and other wooden items, each time trying to speed up the process. Pages upon pages of thoughts and ideas about fire and its ability to cleanse fill the journal. At one point, the writings become more focused on sacrifice and immolation. You begin to feel anxiety about Paul's mental state. Clearly, he was becoming psychopathic. But a final page detailing a Lord of Light adds a new angle to your investigation. Paul seems to worship this mysterious lord and seems to be acting on its commands. Could this lord be another part of Paul's derangement? Each investigator may test 3 intellect. If you succeed, deal 1 damage to an enemy or discard a card from your deck if you fail. I don't want to test it, so it's a may. That means we don't have to do it. We got 3 out of 5 story cards. Oh, see, I keep forgetting these guys. Help, chat. Remind me. Yeah, so that was final action. So, end of the round, enemy phase. Now these guys move in to where we are. We draw a card and gain a resource. Oh, good. 6 out of 7 Doom. We're doing okay. We're a little behind from where I want to be, but we're not terribly bad just yet. Here we go. Oh, another brings me to despair, but it's limit 1 per investigator, so it's a whiff. I probably should make that surge, but I kind of like nothing bad happening to me this round. Okay. We are done here, so we're going to use our first action to move. First action to move. Then second action, we'll move to the church, the chapel. The chapel is a few miles from the village proper and is adjacent to the village graveyard. No one seems to be at the chapel today, though the noon bell rang indicating that Mass is in service. A quiet place to atone. 2 clues. 3 shroud, 2 clues. Town church. Spend 2 resources. Either take a clue from this location or drop a clue on this location. Father Paul seems distracted and gives you a quick blessing. He doesn't seem comfortable answering your questions, but seems willing to let you search the church for clues as long as you provide an appropriate tithe. Okay. 2 clues. We can spend resources to grab clues automatically. That's actually helpful. So that was action number 2. And then for our third action, I think we're going to gain a resource. Because we... Oh, maybe I could investigate. How much? 3 shroud. I think I'd rather gain a resource and just get the free clue. 2 action... Let me see. 2 actions to grab a clue. But then next round, what do I do? Next round, I could spend 2 actions to grab the other clue. This needs to go away soon. All right. Yeah. So we'll spend... Oh, it's our last action of the round, so that's not really gonna... Yeah. Okay. Gain a clue, or gain a resource. That's our final action. The whippoorwills move. Here. And then we draw a card and gain a resource. Through a form, okay? Doom advances. Oh boy. Okay, let's see what happens. You grasp your head as a sudden throbbing pain overwhelms you. Your vision begins to blur as tears form in your eyes. Regaining your composure, you look into the distance only to doubt the effectiveness of your efforts as you see a mass of molten flesh moving towards you. Search the set-aside different world encounter set for a copy of Prowler and spawn it at the Ruins of Acacia. Ooh, this thing is nasty. It is 4/4/2, Hunter Retaliate, 2 damage per hit. When it deals damage to you, discard the top of your deck. A mass of molten flesh follows you, burning when it touches your skin. So this goes in the ruins. There are a lot of creatures at the Ruins of Acacia. Alright, and then it says, shuffle the remaining set-aside different world encounter set into the encounter deck. Do not shuffle the discard pile into the encounter deck. So, I put the encounter sets here because that was a thing that the playtester said was missing. So, this is the different world encounter set right here. So, we're going to put that and shuffle it into the remaining cards of the encounter deck. All right, each investigator tests 4 willpower. Each investigator who fails takes 1 horror and discards the top 6 cards of their deck. Ouch. 4 willpower, we have a 4, so it'd be an even check. Taking a horror and discarding 6 cards is not that bad for me, so I will take it just like that. 4 to 4. -3, so that's a fail. So I take a horror and discard 6 cards. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2 weaknesses got discarded. I like that. But now there's 11 cards, so now the Elder thing is bad. It's an auto fail. Okay. The light begins to change. The light of day retreats behind the mountain range. With it, the daylight takes the sense of security you took for granted when you began your investigation into the matters at hand. All skill tests for treacheries have +1 difficulty, 6 doom threshold. Things are going to be bad. Here we go. Drawing our encounter card says Orbital Conflagration. It's a peril. Test 3 willpower. If you fail, take 1 damage, and you must either place 1 of your clues on your location or discard the top 2 cards of your deck. That sucks. Oh, I forgot to add that 1 clue from the other place. It should be 3 clues. Either place or discard the top 2 cards of your deck. Okay, I'll test it. I have a 4 to a 3. Okay, here we go. I discarded cards. I gotta test this. Good luck and good machete. Thanks, Big Stupid Grin. It's going okay. Tempo-wise, I'm doing mediocre. I'm about to possibly take 2 horror. Here we go. So I gotta test this for when that agenda advanced. Do we want to commit anything? We have... We could commit an ethereal form. Our willpower is 4. There are no whippoorwills in our location right now. Okay, we'll spend a resource to boost arcane studies to the test of this thing. So let's do it. Tablet. Reveal another token, but we get 3 resources. 3? 2 resources. And that really helps us, actually. That's amazing. And we get a +2 to the test. So now we are testing a 5 to a 3. Oops. I just let that. So I have to just keep that there and redraw it. -2. So we succeed. So this doesn't hit us. That's good. But now we have to test this. So test 3 willpower. If you fail, take 1 damage. Okay. This is exhausted now. Okay. So testing against a 3, against a 4 because of the agenda, giving +1 difficulty to this. So, so a 4 to a 4. We're going to take it on the chin. Yeah. We'll take it on the chin. 4 to 4. +1. Hey, we succeeded. Thank goodness. All right. Whew. Okay. So now, if Mateo could take the machete, I would totally give him the machete in every deck that I made with him. All right. Our turn. We can nab these 2 clues and move on. These things are going to chase us. So let's do it. Let's nab the 2 clues by spending 2 resources for 1 clue, 2 resources for another clue. Is there a limit on that? Nope. So 2 actions and 4 resources. Let's read this. Harris Dickinson liked to talk to the priest about the angel Gabriel and his horn. The priest tells you Harris kept getting the story wrong, claiming that Gabriel's horn played constantly, and instead of heralding the end of the world when it was played, it would end the world if Gabriel ever stopped. Can you imagine? He also told me that God's seventh son came to Earth long ago and would one day ascend to his rightful throne when he devoured God's memories. Ooh. The investigator with the most cards in his or her discard pile takes the seventh card from the top and shuffles it back into their deck. Okay, so we take the seventh card from our discard pile and shuffle it back into our deck. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. We have one action left. Let's move. Final action, we move. We move onwards to the graveyard. The graveyard is eerily silent. Elaborate headstones and statues fill the area, giving off a sense that this town's dead hold a special place. 2 clues. At the end of the game, if you've completed R1, add this card to the victory display and add victory 1 to the bottom of this card. Okay. 2 clues, 4 shroud. That's going to be tough. But that ends our turn. So enemy phase, all these guys are coming after us. Oh boy. Those whippoorwills, man. All right. We gain a resource, draw card. Oh, internal injury. We need to deal with that. We can't afford to be taking damage. 1 doom on the agenda out of 6. Here we go. Encounter card. Brings me to despair. Looks like John Cleese. Oh man. Yeah, I think it's supposed to be what was it supposed to be, Jim? Oh yeah, Donald Sutherland. Body Snatchers. Ugh. Okay. A familiar face here. Some of you may recognize it. Limit 1 per investigator, like a dead man. Place like a dead man in your threat area. Whenever you take the move action, you must spend an extra action to do so. At the end of the round, test agility 2. If you succeed, remove like a dead man from your threat area and place it in the encounter discard pile. You struggle in walking, neck and back tilted. You slowly and clumsily move your legs one at a time, but are unable to stand straight. Something's messing with you. Okay. We are so close. I want to deal with the internal injuries, and then these guys are going to be a problem. And we have 5 rounds. So first of all, this thing is not going to happen this round. No way. So we can I got an idea. Okay. So, first things first, we need to get rid of our internal injury. So, we're going to spend 2 actions to discard internal injury. Bye-bye. Nope, not to our hand. All right, 2 actions gone. Boom. We have 1 action left. Action is going to be... I was going to move into the enemies, but that's not going to happen. So, what we're going to do is we'll let that guy engage us at the beginning of next round. But for this round, we will... Oh, no, we don't have the resources to pay for this. I thought I had 2 resources. I was going to play ethereal form. This is bad. He's going to come in and hit us. And that hurts. 2 damage hurts a lot. This might be over sooner than expected. Because we can evade him, but it's just... And we'll need the resources to cast this. Oh, I forgot to put the secrets on her. She has 3. 1, 2, 3. Usually it's automatic. Okay, I gotta think of what I'm gonna do here. Do I let them come hit me? Which sucks. And we can't move in here, can we? Cannot, unless you've narrowed down your search. This is a tough one. This is a very tough situation. Damn whippoorwills. All right. Final action. I guess we're just going to have to hunker down and deal with it. Let's gain a resource because we do need resources to do the things we need to do to get rid of this thing. So, gain a resource. All right. That ends our turn. Enemy phase. These guys. Oops. I got to find the right camera for that. There we go. These three move. Boom. I don't know where he went. He disappeared. There he is. He engages us. And then hits us for 2 damage. Frickin' Prowler. We'll give her 1. So she's going to have 2 on her. And then I'll take 1. Ouch. Alright, now we draw a card and gain a resource. Draw a card, gain a resource. Yeah, we're going to banish you, bastard. 2 Doom on the agenda out of 6. Here we go with the encounter card. Oh, end of the turn, we got a test. 2 agility. 3 because of agenda, giving it a +1 difficulty. 3 agility's probably not going to happen. I'll just tell you that right now. So, just for the sake of testing it, test. Each agenda number, so that's going to be actually probably a success. We have a 3 versus a 3, right? -1 for each agenda number, so that's -2, and then we get +2 because of the candles. And then we get 2 more resources. Yes. We pass. We passed the freaking test. I gotta say, the candles, I used to always say they sucked, and I think that now, in certain decks, they're really freaking handy. Alright, so we succeeded that test, and now we draw our encounter card. Ooh, this one's cool. I like this card. Fear of the Dark. Someone's watching you. Aloof and Hunter. Whenever you take the move action while Fear of the Dark is at the location you're moving from, you must draw a token from the Chaos bag. If you draw one of the special tokens, you have to discard the top card of your deck. If you succeed, nothing happens. I have a constant fear that something's always near. Alright, so she is Aloof and Hunter. So we got 3 Aloof enemies on us right now. We got 2 Whippoorwills, and we have Fear of the Dark. Fun times. And we need to get this. We also have to get rid of this at some point. Infected Mandy was the sole survivor. Wow. Yeah. Yeah, Infected Mandy, huh? Well, I'm playing on Sunday morning. I'm playing the COVID Mask again. That was really fun. I can't wait to play it again. Okay. We have this guy to deal with. The molten flesh thing. The Prowler. We can banish it, or we can ethereal form. Or we can Spectral Razor. Spectral Razor would do 3 damage. Don't want to do that, because that won't kill him. Alright, let's try to banish him first. So banish says non-elite. He's not elite. Use willpower instead of agility. If you succeed. Okay, so let's give it a shot. And we'll spend 2 resources. That'll play banish. And then for the test, we are going to boost our willpower. So let's, you guys are going to think I'm crazy, but let's play a little with Doom. We'll add a Doom to Blood Pact and boost our willpower by 3. So we have now a 7 to a 4. No, to a 2. Oh, do we even need to do this? So our willpower is 4 to a 2 for the banish. We don't have... Oh, we have 2 Whippoorwills on us. So we're actually testing to a 4. Yeah, so we do need to do this. 7 to a 4. Right? There is a -4 token and a -5 token in there. But otherwise, I think we're okay. As long as we don't draw the Elder thing or the autofill. Okay. Alright, let's try and banish it. 7 to a 4 says... Hey, good enough. Exactly the number needed. So, he is banished, but he doesn't. This doesn't stick to him. So he is banished. We'll put him in the furthest location. Let's see where that is. We are 1, 2, 3, 3, 3, 3. Yeah. So any of these, we'll put him way up here at the general store. Go bother those people. All right. So first action was the evade. Now we can investigate with no problems, except for these stupid whippoorwills that are here. And we're investigating against a 4. That's rough. Let's draw a card. Hey, look at that. That is a card I needed. So we will use it right away for our final action. Seal of the Elder Sign. We grab a clue off that location. So that gets us 1, and we get an extra action because of Mateo's ability. So let's use that extra action for... If we gain resources, we can just pump this next round. So, well, you know what? Let's gain a resource. It's for free. Oh, so then instead of a free action, let's gain a resource and draw a card. So yeah, we'll do that. Gain a resource and draw a card. All right. That ends our turn. Enemies hunt. So this guy over here goes back to the ruins. These are all hunters, but they stay there. And now our turn, or our upkeep, we gain a resource, draw a card. Drawn to the flame, just what I need. Yes, yes. Now we don't have to test against that thing. Cool. 3 doom out of 6. Counter card. Still life. Place it in your threat area. At the beginning of each phase, test 1 intellect. 2 because the agenda set gives it a +1 difficulty. So it gets +1 difficulty for each counter on the card. If you succeed, discard it. If you fail, discard the top card of your deck and add a counter to this card. If it has 3 counters, then at the beginning of a phase, discard it and take 1 damage as you jump into the water and begin to drown. You see a pool of water and stare, unable to take your eyes off your reflection. It's almost as if it were calling you to join. Okay, end of the Mythos phase, we have to test against a 2. So our intellect is 3 versus a 2. We have Whippoorwill, so that actually is really bad for us. Do I want to waste resources on that? No. So let's just test it raw. 3 against a 2, and we have a -2 modifier already. Hey, ritual candles kick in. So we actually beat it, 2 to a 2. So we had a 3 to a 2. Draw a skull because of... oh, no, that's not a -1. That is actually... We are on agenda 2, so that's a -2 for the skull. So 3 to a 2. The skull brings us to a 0. Or to a 1. Ritual candles bring us up to a 3. And then whippoorwills bring us back down to a 1. That sucks. But we can use the jewel to gain 2 resources, which we absolutely need. And we put a counter on this guy. All right. Investigator phase. We've got a lot of resources. Mateo is rich now. Let's draw to the flame. Let's do it. Drawn to the flame. We draw an encounter card. Boiling Blood. Hunter. 2/2/2. Investigator without a copy of Brings Me to Despair is its prey. We have a copy, but so we're not its prey, but it's still, we're the only investigator. When Boiling Blood attacks you, test 4 agility. If you fail, search the encounter deck for a copy of Brings Me to Despair and place it in your threat area. We already have it, so we don't have to do that. A large pool of steaming, boiling, dark red liquid moves toward you. If you didn't know any better, you would say it was chasing you. Okay. And we get that clue. So we actually get to advance this. Right here. Looking through the graveyard initially feels like a waste of time. Nothing is out of the ordinary at first. It's after a few hours of walking around that you begin to notice strange dates on the gravestones. Some people lived as many as 130 years, and most have empty grave sites. Things are not making any sense. Just as you are about to leave, your vision begins to blur and you stumble into a gravestone. It is then that you read the name on the gravestone, with today's date as the date of death. Each investigator tests 3 willpower. Each investigator who fails takes 1 direct horror. If an investigator fails by 2 or more, then investigator takes 2 direct horror instead. Holy cow. You found your own gravestone. That's interesting. I forgot I wrote that. I haven't pulled this card in any of my test plays. So we test 3 willpower. You fail, take 1 direct horror. 2 or more, take 2 direct horror. Okay. And these are considered treacheries based on the rules. So this gets +1 difficulty. So we're testing 4 willpower. Whippoorwills give us a -2. This is going to be a hard test. We're at 3 doom +1 because of Blood Pact. So I don't want to add more doom. All right, let's spend resources. So let's take this with us so we can keep track here. So we're going to spend 1, 2, 3 resources to boost our willpower by 3. That puts us at a 7. And we're testing against a 4. Whippoorwills give us -2. So 5 to a 4. So we'll have to spend 1 more resource. So we're up by 2 on the test. Yeah, we're up by 2. There we go. -4. That's a failure. Oh. So we failed by 2 or more. So we take 2 direct horror. Oh, that sucks. Boom, we got 5. So we still have action left, or 2 actions left, because our first action was this Drawn to the Flame, which we've been dealing with right now. But let's advance the act, and then we'll still have 2 actions left. Let's see. It says, the townsfolk believe that the tremors are a punishment for their past sins against Harris Dickinson, but they don't elaborate as to what those sins were. From the village records, you discover that Harris passed away 18 years ago. You suspect the townsfolk know more than they've disclosed. You meet with a man named Benjamin Briggs who suspects that the townsfolk may have murdered Dickinson. Perhaps you can find out more at Harris's abandoned farmhouse. Each investigator shuffles their discard pile and selects 5 cards at random face down. They then shuffle those cards back to their deck. Oh, cool. So this puts us back below 11, so the elder thing is not as scary. So flip it, and we'll shuffle 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Shuffled back in. Shuffle the set-aside stocked encounter set into the encounter deck. Do not shuffle the discard pile. Here's the stock set right over here. All right. Remove all clues from Investigator's play area. Remember that you have narrowed down your search. And we saw that earlier. Narrowed down your search. You need to have narrowed down your search to go to Harris Dickinson's house. The house is locked, although it looks abandoned. A tall wooden fence surrounds the main complex, which sits atop a hill. You're not able to see the farm behind the house due to the large fence, and it seems suspiciously deliberate that the fence prevents anyone from seeing beyond. All right. And anything else we have to do here? We have to read this. You suspect there's much evidence inside Harris Dickinson's house that pertains to his untimely death. Only investigators at Outhouse may spend the requisite number of clues as a group to advance. If the Bornless one is defeated, advance to 3B. Okay. Boom. Hey, the gaming ward. Welcome. Dog barking time. It's prime dog barking time. 2 actions left. I really want to get rid of this thing. All right, 2 actions left. Let's move, right? Oh, no, we got to kill this thing. So we'll spend 2 resources to use a resource from this lady and play Spectral Razor. So, do we exhaust her? Yeah, exhaust her. All right, so Spectral Razor, which we attack, added to our value for the attack. So we have 2, 4, so we have a 6 to a 2. Whippoorwills give us a -2. 6 to a 2. Here we go. Tablet. Reveal another token. We get a +2. So we're now testing an 8. I'm sorry, 8 to a 2. Reveal another token. Skull. We get another +2. We're at 10 to a 2 now. But yeah, we succeed. So he's dead. And then this is not Barkham Gun. Yeah, Loki, behave. See, even the chat's telling you to behave, Papa. Okay, so that was good. We killed this thing. Final action. We want to get out of here, away from these stupid whippoorwills. But if we move, this lady's going to make us discard a card, which is probably going to trigger the other thing. Oh, she doesn't have any damage or horror, so why don't we use our last action to engage her, so then we can evade her. Is that a good use of actions? Probably not. Let's move. We'll take the risk. So we move, we have to test. If we pull crazy icon, we got to discard the top card of our deck. Here we go. No crazy icon. So nothing happens with the Fear of the Dark. And let's read the location. A new strange world. When an investigator enters this location for the first time, that investigator must test X willpower, where X is 1 for every 5 cards in the discard pile. I think we have, 8. So it's not going to be a difficult test at all because we're testing versus a 1. In that investigator's discard pile, if they fail, that investigator loses all remaining actions. It doesn't matter because we don't have any actions. As you enter the house, your mind begins to search for long-lost memories. You attempt to regain your composure as you realize something is very wrong with this place. Okay. So, we'll do the test just because we have to. We're testing against a 1. Our willpower is 4. Test says 0. So we succeed. Now, our turn is over, so we got to test still life. So now we're testing against a 3. 3 intellect versus a test of 3. I kind of want to commit to it, but yeah, let's commit the jewel. So 4 to a 3. 4 to a 3, yeah. +1 difficulty for each counter. It's a 2. And then 1, so 2 or 3. So 4 to a 3. We have nothing else. We can spend a resource, I guess. We really need more resources. Oh, yeah. So 4 to a 3. Let's spend a resource. So 5 to a 3. Here we go. Autofill. Oh, well, this is exhausted anyway, so it doesn't matter. So another thing goes on here. If you fail, discard the top card of your deck and then a counter. So we discard. And then we have to test this because this is each phase. So end of the investigator phase. We're testing against a 4. 4 to a 4. Damn. We got to get rid of this. This is pretty brutal. 4 to a 4. Let's commit banish and ethereal form. 6 to a 4. Tablet. Okay. Let's reveal another token. So we get a +2. So that's 8 to a 4. That's good. Those candles have been super handy, man. All right. So we succeeded. Okay. Next phase is enemy phase. So enemy phase, these 3 lovely freaking things come after me. All right. And end of the enemy phase, no cards were discarded, so we don't test this. We do test this thing, though. So we have, at the beginning of the phase, we're supposed to test it. So we have 1 intellect, 2, 3, 4. 4. 3 to a 4. We're going to fail this one. 3 to a 4. -2. That's a fail. So if you fail, discard the top card of your deck. If it has 3 counters on it, yep. At the beginning of a phase, discard it and take 1 damage. Okay. So add a counter. Discard the top of our deck. And now we do have to test this thing again. Testing against a 4. I don't have any other way unless I had Doom. So 4 to a 4. Is the Doom going to advance? 4 to 6. No. 4 to a 4. Just straight up. 0. Hey, what do you know? Pass this. All right, so this goes away. We take a damage. Damn, that's kind of brutal. Okay. Now, Investigator Phase or Upkeep Phase. Yay, finally. We get a card and a resource. And we get Hypochondria. Oh, man. Oh, the Q&A tomorrow? Yeah, I'm excited about the Q&A. We're going to have a Q&A about this scenario after, which it looks like it's almost done. There will be a Q&A tomorrow for the Great Old Ones, which is, yeah, that's going to be very fun. If you have any questions for the Great Old Ones, send them in to carolynfernthebotanist@gmail.com. And, or you can go to the Discord server for FarkhamCon and do that instead. We're at 5 Doom out of 6, 4 here, and 1 from Blood Pact. Here we go with our encounter card. Encounter card. Eager for Death. Test 2 willpower. Increases skill difficulty by 1 for each damage on you. Whew. Oh, boy. Okay. That's brutal. Well, let's add a Doom to Blood Pact. So our willpower is now 7. And we're testing against a difficulty of 7. It's a straight test. 7 to a 7. Oh my god. Oh. Yeah, that's... And then we're going to take 2 horror. Damn. Okay. Well, the only thing that can save us is if we draw a skull. Even a skull will be an even test. Well, even test will pass. So if we draw a skull, that's the only thing that'll help us pass. Yeah. So come on, skulls. -2. That's a fail. We take 2 horror. 1, 2. We are almost dead. We're almost dead. I guess we're just gonna... Oh, I forgot to move this guy. He's coming for us. Oh, this is not gonna last very long. Investigator Phase. I'm just gonna use 3 actions to get rid of this because this will kill me. So let's get rid of Brings Me to Despair. That's 3 actions. That's my turn. And then Enemy Phase. He moves closer. These guys stay here. Upkeep Phase. Draw a card and gain a resource. Alright, read the signs. Where were you earlier? Oh, shoot. Hypochondria. 1 or more damage, take a direct target. Okay, shoot, man. We are in a tight spot. Agenda advances. So, this Doom goes away. If Eternity should fail. Frustration builds as the villagers seem to keep information from you. Your anger turns to despair and you just barely realize you're losing your grip on reality. Your mind feels fragile as visions of your past begin to resurface. It can't be all coincidence, as too many things are evident. As you ponder what you've discovered so far, a voice in your head tempts you, beckoning you. Wouldn't you like to know the truth of what's out there? Wouldn't you like to share an eternal life, living out your memories beyond the boundaries of time and space? Hey, Nate. As if in a trance, you drift in and out of consciousness. For me, eternity is nothing but a short while. Investigators must choose individually, then read the interlude. Given to the visions, you heal 2 horror and 2 damage. We could certainly use that. Draw 3 cards. Remember that you gave into temptation. They're just memories and they're in the past. We must fight on. Reshuffle 5 random cards from your discard pile. Remember that you fought on. All right, I'm going to ask the chat. What do you guys think? Give in to the visions or fight on? I could certainly use the healing. It might be a deal with the devil. We'll watch it live. We'll do it live. Do it live. The chat's a bit delayed, so I gotta wait for you guys to respond, which will take a minute. Let's see what the chat thinks. Gio, are you still on in the chat? Fight on. Could be our death, though. Could be. Fight on. Okay. All right. So he says, you guys, fight on, it says. Let's do it. All right, let's read the interlude, and we'll fight on. The scroll wheel didn't work. Alt? Scroll wheel. Yeah, the scroll wheel doesn't work on this thing. Fight the power. All right. You look upon the Dickinson farm and are deeply disturbed by the scene you witness. Hundreds of crosses stand erect, lining the ground of the farmland as far as you can see. A massive being, unnatural and indescribably horrific, emerges from the ground as your mind begins to pulsate. The overwhelming sensation brings you to your knees, clutching your head as a massive presence before you begins to speak. You may live forever with your memories. You may live forever with their memories. You may live forever with our dreams and our memories. We are eternal. We are accursed. We are the seventh one. We are the Lord of Light. Those who will not dream will burn. So it was written, and so it shall be done. Gather each story card revealed by discovering clues from locations. Separate as many of the phrases. Seventh Son, Accursed, Eternal, Lord of Light. All right. I forgot to do this. I have to reshuffle 5 random cards from the discard pile. So, shuffle 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And, right. So we have to look at these. Okay, so we have Eternal Graveyard, Lord of Light, Accursed, Lord of Light, Seventh Son. So we have 1 Eternal, 2 Lord of Light, 1 Accursed, 1 Seventh Son. So Lord of Light wins it. We have more Lord of Light than anything else. Let's see. Search the set aside Bornless 1 cards for the one matching the most prevalent phase in the story cards players revealed and put the card into play at the farm outskirts. If there are more than one story card with equal number of matching phrases, choose one at random from those sets. If the farm outskirts is not in play, spawn the Bornless 1 at the outhouse. Remove the other Bornless 1 cards and all the story cards from the game. Okay, so we have to draw the Seventh Son. The Lord of Light. So all the story cards get removed. So the way this is set up, if you get too many of that are good effects, you're going to get the tougher guy. If you get too many bad ones, you're going to get the easier guy. So Lord of Light, this is Seventh Son, this is Accursed, this is Eternal, this is Lord of Light. This is the one we get. All right, let's see what he says. I have to remove these out of the game. And spawn it at the outhouse. The outhouse, which says, a low drone can be felt coming from the outhouse. As you get closer, the sound changes from a constant droning to a low beating, not unlike that of a heart. Bornless 1, Lord of Light. Massive Hunter Retaliate Alert. Holy cow, this is the tougher one. Or one of them, at least. Does 2 damage to horror. When the Bornless 1 would attack an investigator, in addition to taking damage in horror, that investigator draws a card from the Babylon deck and resolves its text. Yeah. Yes. So this is the Babylon deck right here. The Babylon deck is a special thing I made for the scenario for the Bornless 1. I wanted to give him a little bit more of a boss feel, more gravitas. So whenever he hits, especially in multiplayer, you're going to be flipping a lot of these for extra effects and stuff. Like he can heal or he can teleport somewhere. That was the intention of it. Anyways, he is spawned, and I don't know how we're going to beat this guy, but let's read the agenda. Woe to you, O earth and sea, for the devil sends its beast with wrath. The agenda has -1 per investigator doom threshold, which is a 5. All skill tests have has a +1 difficulty. When this agenda would advance, instead remove 2 damage from the Bornless 1 If there are no investigators at its location, it moves one location toward the closest investigator. Whether moved or not, it makes an immediate attack. Then remove all doom from this agenda. If no damage was removed by this effect, advance this agenda instead. So he's very tough. Just hits hard. Okay, so it is the Mythos phase. Let's draw our Mythos card, if it doesn't kill us outright. Shell of a Man. Each investigator at your location tests 3 willpower. Each investigator who fails takes 2 direct horror. We can't afford to take 2. That'll kill us. So let's... What the heck? Blood Pact. Mateo's going to cut himself. Get +3. So we're testing a 3 to a 4. I'm sorry, not a 3 to a 4. A 7 to a 4. Whippoorwills are there, so that puts us at a 5 to a 4. Let's commit. Read the signs. So 6 to a 4. Yep, that's all we're going to be able to do. Here we go. 6 to a 4. Hey, Elder Sign. Woohoo! So we get an extra action. Sweet. We pass. We get an extra action. This is actually pretty beautiful. So we have 4 actions. Action number 1. We can just go in and just fight him, right? Now he's got 6 health. We can tank it for 1 round. And then just try and kill him the following round. It all hinges on what cards we get. Okay, let's move in to the outhouse. Well, before we move and reveal a card, the location, let's think this through, right? So he will kill us this round, I think, if he hits us, because after we take 1 or more damage, we take a direct horror. So we don't have enough horror tank here. He will kill us when he hits us 1 time. So if we miss the attack and he retaliates, he'll kill us. At the end of the round, he'll kill us. We have no choice but just to go in swinging. Here we go. Move in. Yeah, I don't know how we're going to beat this, but a low drone can be felt. Okay, we read that already. 1 clue. When there are 0 clues remaining, put the farm outskirts in play. It's a victory. As you enter the outhouse, voices from your past seem to speak into your mind in unison, begging you to turn back. Something clearly doesn't want you here. And that back doesn't have a K in it. Never caught that. Born with Sworn. Combat of 3. No whippoorwills this round. They're all over here. Oh, wait. We got to test this lady. Otherwise, discard the top card of your deck. Okay. So we test. We moved. We test. Or we just draw a token. So yeah, we discard the top card of our deck. Wait. If it's revealed during a test or if it's revealed during a test? Yeah, during a test. Okay. So we discarded that. Fighting against a 3. Let's do this. Spend 2 resources. We'll play Spectral Razor. So spend another resource from Diana Esperance. She is exhausted. Spectral Razor fires off. We're testing a... That's a 6 to a 3. We'll add a Doom to Blood Pact for the test, putting us at a 9 to a 3. Pretty good. Let's see what happens. Skull. We get a +2. So that's a success. And we get 2 resources. Okay. So he takes 2 damage. Wait, so that's it, right? I think this goes away. Yeah. Alright, so we dealt 2 damage to the guy. Not bad. Out of 6. We're basically Hail Mary passing here. 2 actions left. Let's spend 2 resources and play Ethereal Form. So we get to evade 7 to a 3, I believe. 7 to a 3. Evade says. Tablet, reveal another token. We get a +2. So we're at 9 to a 3. -2. So we're good. Man, those candles have been doing some work, I gotta say. He is evaded, or we're ethereal, so he can't attack us. So we will... What the heck? Let's draw a card. That's all we can do. Hope for something good. Nope, not good. Not good at all. Turn ends. Enemy phase. He can't attack us because we're ethereal. So these guys all move in. It's a big party over at the outhouse. This guy moves closer. He's in Harris Dickinson's house. We have so much stuff on us. At our location. And he's coming to kill us next round. Alright, that's enemy phase. And then upkeep. Draw a card. Please be something good. We literally have no other recourse here. Okay. I think this is game over. Alright, we added Doom to the agenda. We are now at 2 Doom out of 5 because of... Oh, 3 Doom out of 5 because of Blood Pact. So he will heal when that Doom threshold is hit. The creature will heal. Let's draw our encounter card, and the encounter card says, another shell of a man. This could be it. 2 direct horror if we fail. Testing against 3 willpower. Whatever, man. Let's put a Doom on it. So we get +3. That's 7 to a 4. 7 to a 4. -5. Oh, wow. Wow. So that kills us. A man's body begins to twist and bend in unnatural ways and unnatural speed right in front of your eyes. The horrific display forces you to flinch, but it is the disturbing screams of agony that haunt you long after his painful death. And the painful death has driven us insane. I forgot to finish reading this. So if you... Oh, God, I'm so dumb. It's my own scenario, and I totally forgot to continue reading this. Something else happens here. If you fought on, that was us. Your body is tense, and your mind is exhausted. You may never know what really happened to Paul and Harris. You gather your courage and face the realization that you may not survive. You stand up ready to face the unimaginable. So we're supposed to gain 3 resources and draw a card. Not that that really would have done anything to us, but... So let's just do that for the sake of posterity. So we went insane after we saw someone just get twisted and mangled right before our very eyes. And ladies and gentlemen, that is the end. Let's read the prologue or the epilogue of A Matter of Life and Death. Each investigator earns experience equal to the total victory display. If no resolution was reached, proceed to resolution 6. Oh, look at that. That's the image of what killed us. You leave the village of Passchendaele behind in fear of your life and sanity. Although you have some ideas to the events that led to Paul and Harris's madness, you shudder to think of the grim reality. You leave the townspeople to their fate, hoping it will be merciful, and you spend the rest of your days looking behind you in absolute terror, hoping the day will never come when you'll have to face the reality of your insignificance. Each investigator adds the paranoia basic weakness to his or her deck. If that card is not available, each investigator takes 1 mental trauma instead. All right. That is A Matter of Life and Death, ladies and gentlemen. It'll be a very quick question and answer session now. Before I start that, I want to thank everyone who helped make this scenario possible, especially my brother, Gio, who did most of the art in the scenario. The inspiration was Iron Maiden, so I want to thank them too, because they have been a big part of my life. And I think... if you have some music that you really love, it really makes an impact on your life no matter what. So that's definitely thanks to them. And then my wife, Lou Jimenez. Special thanks to Nathan Early, Nate, Lost in Time and Space, and Men from Leg, the great old ones. And then the play testers, the other Nate, Jermaine, Mike, Cameron, and JP, Solar J, who helped play test the scenario. Thank you guys. You helped make it possible and make it work at least a little bit more smoothly than it was initially. let me switch to my webcam and I'll answer any questions that you guys have. I did get some questions emailed to me, so I'll answer those as well. And if you have any questions in the chat, I'll be happy to answer them. And that'll be it for our Farkham Con event. Questions for a matter of life and death. I'll read one of the emailed ones. So someone said, Eddie, the mascot of Iron Maiden, Eddie the Head, is a huge part of their lore. Is there a reason why I didn't include it in the scenario? Well, yeah, so part of the thing with the scenario, I wanted it to be inspired by lyrics and song names of Iron Maiden, but I didn't want to make it an Iron Maiden scenario. I know there are some scenarios that are inspired by certain things that that people have made that specifically reference those things, but I feel like those types of scenarios, if you're not in the know, then you're kind of left out. Like, you don't enjoy the scenarios much. So I wanted this scenario to be more a standard Arkham Horror scenario that you could just play even if you don't know anything about Iron Maiden or their song lyrics or anything like that. So I didn't want to include their mascot. It could have been maybe added in, as a little Easter egg somewhere, but I didn't want it to be a major part of the scenario. So that's why I didn't include it in there. Other question was, what was the inspiration for the Babylon deck? And that was what I was mentioning earlier, that we didn't get to see it in action. Well, I guess I could flip one because he would have attacked us next round. But the Babylon deck is basically something that I wanted to add to the menace of the boss. Instead of just doing damage and horror, making you discard cards, I wanted to have some random effect that would really give it a sense of impending doom. And so all the cards in the Babylon deck do really interesting things. They make the boss feel more like an AI because he'll move around, he'll teleport to other locations, he'll heal himself, he'll make you pull encounter cards, he'll do a bunch of stuff in addition to the damage and horror that he deals. So the Great Old Timer. Yeah, I know. I tried to get it to work, right? It worked fine yesterday. Yes, Great Old Timers. Did you have any investigators specifically in mind, or a specific class in mind when you made this? Not really. I figured, I wanted to make it more just a generic Arkham scenario where you investigate and fight. I didn't want to make it too crazy where you had to do like very special things. So no, I think I made it for pretty much any investigator that wanted to. So that was the intent, at least. JP says, what was the most difficult part of designing the scenario? So this scenario taught me so much about scenario design because of all the mistakes that I made. And it's definitely props to FFG and everyone for making so many scenarios so consistently good, because it's not easy. Probably the most difficult parts were getting things right in terms of doom thresholds, clue thresholds, as well as the amount of enemies. All that tweaking happens through many, many playtests, and even a few playtests. I'm sure you guys have heard interviews with Matt Newman about balancing scenarios and playtests, and he's like, even if we have 1,000 playtests of a scenario, once the scenario goes live, 20,000 times that amount of people play the scenario and find things that the 1,000 couldn't find. And that is so true. Finding a balance of enemies, finding a balance of clues and doom, you can kind of find that a little bit easier, but there's other things that you may not catch. It's definitely, designing a scenario has a bunch of challenges, but the biggest one is the balance, finding a good balance of difficulty and fun. All right. Any other questions, guys, from the chat? That's all the questions that were emailed to me, and if we have no more, then I shall let you guys go early because Farkham Con has a lot happening. I think Man from Langus was doing an event like at the same time as this one. So, flood of input. Oh no, dude, JP, by the way, the more feedback, if someone asks you to playtest a scenario, give them as much feedback as possible. Like the input from JP and Solar J after the fact was so valuable. I sent my scenario to playtesters and got a little bit, but I feel like some of them were timid or, felt like they might hurt my feelings if they were too much, if they said too many things that needed to change. But no, it doesn't. if you're a playtester, like that is your job, like to not your job, but you should just for the sake of making the scenario better, give every little bit of information that you found that needs to be changed, because that is the most helpful for a designer. And they really shouldn't take it personally, because honestly, the more stuff you find, the better it is, and the better the scenario is going to end up being. So, Lost in Time and Space. Nate, you're asking, what's my favorite piece of art from the scenario? That's a tough one. I really like this one, Shell of a Man, because it looks like Min, and it's a reflection on her glasses of this guy just getting mangled by unseen forces. So I definitely like that one a lot. Let me think off the top of my head. If you haven't caught it, Like a Dead Man, the face is actually my brother Gio. He's my twin brother, actually, and that's us. That's us on the art. So my brothers threw a little Easter egg in there, which is pretty hilarious. But there are a few Easter eggs. I gotta switch to that. The Great Old Timers. Let me show that to you. I forgot to switch. So Like a Dead Man is the one that looks like Gio and I. And then the one I mentioned a second ago, Shell of a Man. That's the card that killed us. It's right here. So Shell of a Man, Min with the reflection on her glasses. That one's pretty good. Devil's Finger. This one didn't come up in this game, in this playthrough. This one's cool because it's based on a real fungus. Like when I was doing the scenario, I wanted something fungal because my next scenario, I knew I wanted to do it on fungus stuff. So I looked it up. I looked up different fungus types, and I found this Devil's Finger fungus, which goes with the theme because of the whole biblical stuff that's referenced here. But this is a real thing. These Devil's Finger fungus are disgustingly wicked looking. You guys have to check them out. Google Devil's Finger fungus. It's awesome. So that one's cool too. But yeah, I think my favorite would probably be Shell of a Man. Flesh Creature. Flesh Creature's great. That thing was horrendous. I sent my brother an image from a museum exhibit where someone put all these it was sexual body parts that were put together into one, and I'm like, I don't want it sexual, I just want a twisted creature made of body parts. And so he came up with the Flesh Creature, which is now called Prowler. It is right here. So Prowler, let me put it bigger. Prowler's like an eye on a hand and a mouth on a hand. It's pretty disgusting. Really awesome. I've noticed that, JP. People from Finland do not sugarcoat stuff. That is fact. I did not know that before, but it's good, and they don't do it in a brutal way or confrontational way. It's just like this is how it is, and that's it. So. I do like that. That's a good trait to have, is being able to tell people things without sugarcoating or trying not to hurt their feelings. And you guys say it, or at least you do. You say it in a way where it doesn't hurt people's feelings. So that's really good. Yeah, cool. Eyeball Fireball. Eyeball Fireball. Which one's Eyeball Fireball? I don't know which one that would be. This one? Oh, I know which one you're talking about. This one right here. Orbital Conflagration, maybe? Eyeball Fireball. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That one's pretty good. Yeah. Cool. All right, guys. Thank you for stopping in and watching the stream. This was a lot of fun. I lost right at the very end, but I hope it was interesting for you guys to watch the scenario. It's available on Arkham Central, and it's also, if you look through my post for it, the ad for it, there is a link for you to download it for TTS. So check it out, give it a try. Email me if you find any errors. If you're one of those 1,000 people that find an error, let me know, because it's it's a work in progress always. So I'm willing to fix things that still need to be fixed. So thank you guys for hanging out, and I'll see you guys tonight. I'm playing the Forgotten Age through Pope Cthulhu RPG. Nate is going to be DMing it, and it's going to be a lot of fun. I will be playing Father Mateo again. So today is Father Mateo Day, and well, he's going to bring along a machete this time around. So definitely watch it. It's going to be at the Great Old Ones Twitch channel. So anyways, I